Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
The Purple Daily Anonymous tip line has a couple fun nuggets again here on this Feedback Friday, boys.
If this all proves to be true, and much has, is there a category in the Pulitzer Prize nominations for tip lines?
Is that what, didn't Thor tweet that? Did you steal that from Thor?
No, I tweeted Thor. Yes, Thor tweeted that, but then said that the sources would come out. And I'm like, no, Deep Throat never, you can't, no, you can't give your sources out.
Then the younger audience is like, why are you tweeting about Deep Throat?
Yeah, and I'm like, look it up.
This is a family platform here, Twitter
and I'm like,
/X.
Look it up. Just go look it up.
I don't know if you just Google that.
Yeah, Google it on your work computer.
Well, Pulitzer Prize, Deep Throat, Washington Post. There you go.
What is Deep Throat? And see what results pop up.
Anyway.
As long as it's not a work computer, you're fine.
By the way,
your wife walks behind you.
Corey Stout, before we get into a bunch of good stuff here and a snake draft of the week, Corey Stout says, my wife and I recently made a trip to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And on our way through the Twin Cities, I didn't need gas, but I made note of all the Quick Trip exits off 35 because I knew we'd need gas going back home. And so even though some of the Quick Trips are located a little off the interstate on this route, and there were some other gas stations I could have stopped at, I decided it was worth adding a few extra minutes to the trip to support a supporter of Purple Daily. As I was meandering down a road off the interstate, my wife asked, where are we going? And I said, we got to support Purple Daily. We're going to Quick Trip.
She's like, what?
She then sent the following to our group family text. Dad is driving out of his way past lots of other gas stations to go to a Quick Trip because they sponsor Purple Daily.
Well, you know what? Dad, thank you very much, right? Thank you very much. And it's not just gasoline, because look at right here. Look at all of the delicious options for food, for snacks, for breakfast, lunch. I could go on. But I want to talk to you about the fact that Quick Trip also serving up chicken that is no ordinary chicken. It's absolutely delicious. Fried to perfection, hand-breaded, set to go. Try Quick Trip's juicy chicken tenders or boneless wings, boys, that are perfect for dipping. The crispy chicken sandwich filled with flavor. If you are feeding the entire family, you're going to want the 8-piece fried chicken meal as well. Absolutely, positively, the place that you have to stop, perhaps for gasoline, perhaps for a snack. You put the app on your phone.
57
dinner time.
Visits I've clocked at Quick Trip.
Beautiful. Dinner time, guess what? Get that chicken. It's fantastic. It's Quick Trip.
Amen. Okay, also North American Banking Company powering Feedback Friday here today. A Minnesota-based bank. They know all about life in the Twin Cities, and they can help you with whether it's the basics, the checking, the savings, or maybe you're in the market for a new home and you need help with the mortgage process. They have experts in getting a home loan and making it as stress-free as possible. 6 locations in the Twin Cities: Maple Grove, Roseville, Shoreview, Hastings, Woodbury, and 50th in France. Friendly, knowledgeable people. They took the time to get to learn about my family, my wife. They even asked about our dog,
Oh, nice.
It's very nice of them. And they definitely value the safety and security of accounts with their cutting-edge online tools. Go to nabankcode.com/Mackey to learn more. That's nabankcode.com/Mackey. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. All right, dudes. Let's see here. HBK, happy WrestleMania weekend, says you have to start the show with the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line.
I don't disagree with that.
We'll get there.
I don't disagree with that.
We'll get there.
Oh, you're going to make him wait.
Well, there's some late arrivals here coming in. We'll get there.
Going to make him wait.
I'll just say that the one that we were forwarding to each other a few days ago that we will read when we get there, I felt the need to couch it and protect it even more.
I think you should as well, because
it's like he sent it and he was like, I don't want to get my friend fired, and here's like my anonymous version of this. And then we read it and we're like, if we read it as is, your friend's getting fired.
Your friend's getting fired.
There you go. Okay. That's fair.
100%.
Let's start with Carl Rasmussen. Why no analysis of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's press conference? I'm disappointed. Judd, any analysis off Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's press conference?
First of all, that was yesterday. I think they did that at 11 while Thursday was a thing.
Yeah.
And first of all, folks, Thursday moves for nobody. So we're not exactly going to be like, hey, Thor, could you just wait for Thursday so that Kwesi could talk? My analysis was, well, that press conference, going back to Spielman too, so this is not a Kwesi thing, is always thanking all the people that worked on the draft and saying as little as possible. I thought the one interesting thing that I saw actually non-draft related was the fact that he did say the backup quarterback is not all about the comp pick thing.
There's other factors for why they don't have more quarterbacks.
Which I think leads to they're going to make a trade. I think they're going to make a trade. But as far as the press conference itself on the draft goes, I mean, I'm not sure about you boys, but it's always the GM trying to tell you, and I don't blame them, it's their job, to tell you as little as possible. You sometimes get nuggets outside of the draft stuff, but beyond that, there's not a lot, I don't think, to really try and break down or analyze.
Yeah, I mean, like, Rick Spielman used to love getting up there and just talking about, he would do a big monologue before the first question was even asked about how, boy, you know, our phones are ringing off the hook, we're taking phone calls, we're open for business, we might trade up, we might trade back, we might not trade at all.
Yep.
I mean, there's three very distinct things that we could do:
trade
up, trade back, or not trade.
We love this draft class.
Great draft class.
Great opportunities.
Great opportunities for teams to call us and give us a haul of draft picks to trade up with us, and we'll move back.
You don't want to lock in. Like you can't lock in because, I mean, anything could happen on draft night.
So, yeah, it's a lot of... Yeah, I'm with you. The biggest note I wrote down was just that, hey, he's pretty open about they're mindful of the comp pick formula, and they'd love to have 2 or 3 compensatory picks for the 2026 draft. And that's one of the reasons why they haven't signed a backup quarterback yet. After April 28th, right? It's like middle of the afternoon on like the 28th.
Yes.
Anyone you sign would no longer count toward that formula.
Right.
Which will lead us eventually into the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line.
Yeah, and I am beginning to think that O'Connell did not like anyone that much in the free agent class. Like the Flacco. Like, I don't think that he was in love with, I don't think that on April 28th at 4 p.m. we're going to get news that Carson Wentz is signed. I think he was not. I don't think he looked at this class as being that great, which is why it's basically all gone now.
Yeah. You guys see his hat? You guys see this hat?
Yeah, the Kwesi
hat. It's like a guy, a stick figure at a computer with a Vikings helmet on.
Yep.
I dug it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
is that official NFL licensed gear, or is he going to get? Can you get fined for wearing non-NFL licensed gear?
My guess is that's licensed though.
Okay.
Because it's got their logo on it. So my guess is that they got it licensed. But O'Connell is wearing a different hat and shirt or some type of garb, like every other press conference too.
And Brett Favre used to wear that ratty Nike golf hat, the sweat stains and stuff.
A sleeveless shirt that's also probably like 15 years old. Ugh.
Crusty, yellow.
He's Brett.
Okay, Michael Hacker says, here's a hot take.
All right.
I think the Vikings are leaving the big salary cap space open to trade TJ Hockenson, I guess, and then absorb some hit there.
Okay.
And draft the Michigan tight end, Colston Loveland, who is one of J.J. McCarthy's safety blankets a couple years ago.
Wow.
Also, our guy Pulford Skoll chimes in from Tennessee and has a similar thought. He says, if the Vikings could draft Colston Loveland at 24 and trade Hockenson, would you do that? Should they do that? You get younger, you save some cap in future years because he's obviously a lot cheaper than Hockenson.
Yep.
And you give J.J. McCarthy one of his buddies and top targets from Michigan. That duo would be great for many years to come.
It's interesting. I can't dismiss it completely. I guess I'd be surprised, but it's not. It's reckless, but it's reckless within the confines of the bumpers. So it's not like way outside the box. I don't think that they would trade him, but I guess if you think about it and you could save enough in coming years, and especially Now, here's the thing. Do they think he's fully recovered from the knee? Because that was a significant injury. Or do they think that he's not the same player after that, but they can get him to pass a physical elsewhere?
Well, what would you even... That's
reckless.
the thing. It's like if you put him on the trade block, because I'd want to know that first, right? I'm not just going to give him away. He's a good player still. So, and you could argue that maybe he's overpaid relative to his production. And I see a couple comments that, Detroit moved off him, and people were like, really? This dude's in his prime? He's got feel like he's a building block for you. And then they drafted a guy who might be better over the next few years, Laporta. Mm-hmm. What would you get right now if you traded TJ Hockenson before the draft? Like for this year, like if it was draft compensation for next week, would you get a day 2 pick?
I think maybe a 3rd-round pick.
Maybe.
That would be I think the best like upside potentially. I don't think you'd get more than that.
So let's say if it was a 3rd-round pick and so now you have a 1st and 2/3, and then in this scenario you would use your 1st on Loveland, but you're still sitting there needing some offensive line help long term or short term left guard.
But he could go before 24, right?
Oh yeah, he's being mocked in some cases in the top 15 or 18.
That's a big assumption though. Then
yeah.
That you're going to snag him at 24.
Yeah. Okay, Vincent Hauser says, I am just recklessly speculating.
Welcome to the club.
But if Shedeur Sanders falls to our 1st-round pick, is there a chance the Vikings would consider taking him and have 2 high-level young quarterbacks on their team? I'm going to provide some background here.
Okay.
One of the biggest arguments in the history of the Mackey and Judd radio show years ago was Judd saying that the Vikings, in retrospect, should have drafted Aaron Rodgers in 2005 when he tumbled down the draft board. That this is a guy that was projected as a top 3 pick, and now here he is in the 20s, and he becomes this generationally talented quarterback. Why would you not do that? And I pushed back at Judd saying they had Dante Culpepper on the team, and he was 2nd in MVP voting in 2004. Asinine take. Why would you say that they should have drafted Rodgers?
Yeah, big fight.
Well, what do you think? If Shedeur Sanders, Culpepper was established at the time. J.J. McCarthy is not. If Shedeur Sanders is sitting there at 24 somehow, what do you do?
Well, if Kevin O'Connell says this guy is this guy is fantastic, he's phenomenal, he's unbelievable, then I definitely consider it. If Kevin O'Connell says no, I don't think that he's that good. But that's where you could get a trade. You could get a nice compensation package. So if he's there, I would not just say, "Oh, just pass on him. You don't need him." If he's there and you get approached by a team that's like, "Oh my God, we can get Shedeur Sanders," like that's where you make a mark in a trade. But this is the nice thing about having a guy who knows what quarterback should look like in your building, right? Like this is the best part. I'll continue to say this until Kevin O'Connell completely whiffs on QBs. I believe that they finally have gotten a guy that I trust. The problem was in 2005, I didn't trust the people at Winter Park. I didn't trust them at all. And they had 2 draft picks because I don't believe I said that they should have used 7 on Rodgers. I think I said the Erasmus James pick, which was like 19.
Yeah.
But but if O'Connell's like, "Oh my God, Shedeur Sanders I cannot believe he's fallen. He is phenomenal." I think it's a for sure conversation. I would not dismiss it. I don't know that that's what he would say, but that's just my reckless speculation.
I don't think it makes sense to have both those guys on your team, McCarthy and Sanders. I think you commit to one and then get value for the other one.
Yep.
And in this case, I agree on the trade back thing. And I think it's a long shot that he would fall that far, but there's a lot of steam that he's not going to be a top 3 pick. And then at that point, how far does he go? Do the Saints catch him at 9?
Right.
Or because there's been a lot of projections too that he could fall toward the 20s and like Pittsburgh at 21. But like somehow if he tumbles to 24, I think then you're in a prime position for teams like the Browns, Giants, maybe like Raiders, or maybe even the Saints. I'm looking at the 2nd round now. Teams that, okay, we like him, but we can't
Right.
justify a top 10 pick on him because there's these other players.
Right.
But, oh, my God, he's sitting there at 24. Let's trade back into the first round, and you'd have to move out of the first round, obviously. But you'd pick up for sure like a second or third round pick and some other stuff.
And in fairness, too, he might be, and I don't know this, but there's a chance that the fairest place to take him for him is late first or second.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, too, is, we assume that these teams know what they're doing, right? But the reality is, look at the history of QBs at times in drafts. They don't really know. They don't know, and they get too excited because they're like, we don't have a quarterback. Let's just take this guy and we'll develop him. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't work out that way. So I do think Shedeur being there at 24, though, would create opportunities that don't currently exist or aren't assumed to exist.
Yeah. Let's see here. Matt Hansen chimes in and says, have you guys seen these NFL coach rankings from NBCSports.com? So, yeah, a few days ago, NBC Sports did the top 32 coaches in the NFL. Number 1, Andy Reid.
I did see this.
Number 2, Sean McVay. Number 3, John Harbaugh. 4, Kyle Shanahan. 5, Nick Sirianni. 6, Jim Harbaugh. 7, Dan Campbell. 8, Mike Tomlin. 9, Sean McDermott. 10, Matt LaFleur. 11, Kevin O'Connell, just ahead of Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, Zach Taylor, and Todd Bowles. Is this disrespectful, or is this about right for Kevin O'Connell?
Oh, can you read 6 through 10 again?
Sure.
Sorry, I just need to get my head around this.
Jim Harbaugh, Dan Campbell, Mike Tomlin, Sean McDermott, Matt LaFleur.
Okay. This seems to be very much based on seniority as well. I'm going to tell you this right now, 2025, as we sit here mid-April, I would put O'Connell above Tomlin right now.
I would too, right now.
Right now.
Not career, not
body of work. Mike's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm a Tomlin stan, I think. But like if we're ranking coaches currently, like if I was hiring a coach right now, if all of these guys were released from their current jobs, is there any way on God's green earth that Kevin O'Connell is not a top 10 hire?
I'd put him ahead of Matt LaFleur right now too. I know LaFleur has a playoff win.
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
I mean multiple because he got a couple with Aaron Rodgers too. So I get that. But he's also had Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, much more fully developed than really anything that KOC's had the last couple of years.
If we were to reverse or re-engineer that list and make it a top 10 list of coaches that if you were starting a franchise tomorrow, you could hire, Kevin O'Connell and me's top 3.
He's definitely, I think he's in the top 5-ish. He's higher than 11th.
Well, like I'm not going to hire Reed because he's 60-something.
Okay, I mean, that's
So-
the question is like,
Yeah. Well,
if Andy Reid wants
they made
to
up their
coach for
rules.
3 more years, I'm hiring Andy Reid. You know, he's Andy Reid. Sean McVay for sure. If you're looking at, let's say, a 10-year window here, 10-year window,
Yep.
Sean McVay's above him. Is Kyle Shanahan above KOC? 10-year window right now?
I don't think right now.
The
No.
future, the next 10 years.
No, he's very good. He's close, but I think O'Connell's ability to build is so impressive, and Kyle is very, very good. Don't get me wrong, but O'Connell's sort of the complete package in my opinion.
I mean, I think that's foolish because Kyle Shanahan has done the same, everything you just said about Kevin O'Connell, Kyle Shanahan has done with different quarterbacks, different Super Bowl trips. Like he's a more
very good.
honed Kevin O'Connell.
He
Very
is.
good.
He
very
is
good.
more honed
I
Kevin
think I would
O'Connell.
still go with Kale.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, part of the knock on Shanahan too is that you kind of know there's a formula. This is my offense. This is how we take a lead. If it doesn't flow that way,
True.
you know, he's had some
We lose the Super Bowl.
epic meltdowns as a coordinator and a coach, leading big games late third quarter, fourth quarter. But of course, Kevin O'Connell has not even. Well, as a
Right.
coordinator, he did. He helped
Right.
deliver a Super Bowl for the Rams. So there's that.
I guess what I've seen him, and this is the bias of covering the Vikings a lot, but I guess my bias comes from having seen what he's done in the building as a whole. Like, it sort of starts off with this guy really knows quarterback play, which is incredibly important, right? But then it goes out to look at the locker room, look at look at where this franchise was when O'Connell arrived from a culture standpoint, and now. So I am biased, but I'm also super impressed.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Oh man, some people in the comments are pointing out another hilarious development related to the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line.
I'm seeing those comments, and I've seen this. This is hilarious.
Real quick here, Stephen Bonas says the A+ mock draft grade on Thursday was easily one of the best moments in Purple Daily history.
Wow.
That got me thinking you guys should do a snake draft on the greatest moments in Purple Daily history. Keep up the great content. Can't wait for draft day. So we finally have started. We have like highlight reels and stuff from past shows, but this is the first year that we've actually tried to consciously keep track of the best things that happen on the show throughout the year. So I don't know. We got like 7 or 8 things listed on this thing. And yeah, Dex has a bunch of categories like best episode of the year, hottest Vikings take of the year, best sports dad moment of the year, anonymous email of the year could be a category. So I don't know. Well, if you guys think of things like, oh, that should be on the list for like a year-end Purple Daily time capsule, let us know. Like email us, tweet at us, just let us know what we should be keeping track of here. But we are finally keeping track of some of the top moments.
That is sports dad, the sports dad part. The sports dad part. Wait. I'm thinking about this. What would be the best sports dad of the year part?
Right now,
like I've been thinking about this since Phil said
you
that.
had a hilarious NSP plumbing read in February. Like I'm kind of forgetting the context of what exactly happened, but it was a great.
It was like the inviting
read.
people over to your house thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I think
Probably
you did clip
that.
it, and it was pretty funny.
Your rant about dinosaurs
Dinosaurs was good.
has made it here.
Still don't understand them.
Judd's rant about TV. Your TV show seasons thing from like Survivors.
Oh, where they just take
problem with
credit for
Survivor and Law
like
and
it's 2
Order.
years. No, it's not
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
In fact, someone jumps in here. Wyatt Lean to the feedback tab says, man, Judd's on a hell of a streak of just completely awful takes these past few weeks.
Oh, boy.
First, during the reality TV snake draft, he attacks Survivor, an American institution, and easily on the reality TV Mount Rushmore.
AJ.
Still baffled that none of you took it in that draft. Then the next week, he's attacking dinosaurs for, quote, not having a point, whatever that means. And now he's going after Jim Nantz for his master's call. This must be what it felt like watching DiMaggio during his hitting streak. Can't wait to hear what completely bonkers take Judd has in store for us next.
I sort of like that. I got some support on that Nancy one. On my Jim Nantz one, I got some support.
You got some.
I did get some
there's
support.
also some
Mixed
major
bag.
pushback too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. That's how it's supposed to be. Give and take. Give and take, you see?
Zach Nusser
Thank
says,
you,
let
Zach.
Judd cook.
Leave Survivor alone.
Let Judd cook. Let Judd cook. Okay. Let's get to the anonymous tip line here. The Purple Daily anonymous tip line. Presented today by the draft party itself. A reminder that less than a week from yesterday, the 2025 Purple Daily Draft Party presented by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is happening at the Fillmore. Limited tickets still available at scorenorth.com/draft, at least as of last night. So don't kill the messenger if the VIP tickets are gone as of this live feedback Friday. But at last check, limited tickets available, scorenorth.com/draft. So doors open at 5 for VIP at the Fillmore. General admission doors open at 5:30. Before that, at Brixworth, from 3:30 to 5 o'clock, it's the pre-party. So we're going to be hanging out, cheers and drinks with you guys. Chuck Foreman, Vikings legend, is going to be in the house at Brixworth, just across the street. And then if you're looking for a last-minute hotel and a 15% room rate discount, scorenorth.com/element to get that discounted hotel. A shout-out to Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, Two Men in a Junk Truck, Roku, and all of our awesome partners that help us put this event on. Shout out to Padrigs as well, the home of a few of our Purple Daily Unplugged events this year, Judd.
and a great time, great beer. I've been talking about the red now for a long time, but I want to talk to you about Patty's Premium. I want you to try it. I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to be so impressed. It is a perfect, and this is going to make sense in this state, pontoon beer. Absolutely perfect. And right now, win Sports Dad front row tickets at our draft party, which of course, as Phil just said, is April 24th at the Fillmore. Stop by the Padres Tap Room and sign up to win. This promotion goes until April 20th. You are going to find out a couple of beers right there. You're going to want a couple of those. Patty's Premium, outstanding stuff. They're located in the old Land Nod factory at the corner of Broadway and Central Avenues Northeast. So sign up to win. If you didn't get tickets, again, you can get Sports Dad front row tickets at the draft party. And you know what? I'll come down and shake your hand.
That's right. We'll shake your hand.
Sports Dad will shake your hand.
Dex is going to shake the hand of two men with their truck pretty soon.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. You know, we can do some of the move stuff, right? Like we can do some of these small items, but we don't want to have to figure out how to get, you know, a couple of beds and furniture. The logistics of that sound terrible, and thankfully, 2 Men in a Juck Truck's just going to take care of that for me. No hidden fees, no service charges. What they quote is what you pay. They just sent me over a spreadsheet that said, Dex, what stuff do you need us to move? You can go book your free, no-obligation appointment at 2meninatruck.com. That's 2meninatruck.com.
Okay, gentlemen, it's time for the Purple Daily Anonymous Tip Line. A segment that has swept the nation, literally.
Literally, yeah.
Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero.
Wikipedia.
Well, that's the first update here. Is a bunch of people have pointed out that, and I saw this yesterday. It has not changed yet. That the Asante Samuel Jr. Wikipedia page, according to that, he is a Minnesota Vikings. It says Minnesota Vikings. It's all colored in like purple and gold. The trimmings on the right sidebar here. So, I mean, Wikipedia, the most trustworthy source on the internet, you know.
Yep. Well, they know.
So this is the third follow-up now. We had two previous Asante Samuel Jr. related tips from a few weeks ago that made crazy headlines all over the internet. It was him wearing a Vikings hat, apparently, in a nightclub in Fort Lauderdale or something, where he's from.
A viewer's daughter saw it, went and asked Asante, "Who are you? What's up?" And he spilled the beans.
Yeah, and it all made sense. Like in that context or in the email, said, "Hey, it's not going to be official for 4 or 5 weeks." And at the time, it was like late March, and the deadline of April 28th. For when you can sign a player and it doesn't impact your comp pick formula would be right along that line. So here's one and we had to couch this aggressively. So I'm going to do my best here. But Anonymous emails in to the Purple Daily Tip Line, says, important to stay anonymous so my friend doesn't lose his job. And as we said earlier in the show, the way that this email was written was not enough, I think, to save this person from their job, even though their name isn't listed. So we've couched this even further. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have a friend who works at an undisclosed company in the Twin Cities. You guys tell me if I'm doing this right. All right.
So far, okay.
An undisclosed company in the Twin Cities. Last year, prior to their signings, my friend noticed that his company had formed connections with Andrew Van Ginkel and Blake Cashman. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Safe.
You're fine.
Safe.
You're fine. Keep going. Keep going. Look, this was volunteered up. If this person, unfortunately, does lose their job, their sacrifice is still going to be ultimately a big old pat on the back from the three of us.
So, again, a year ago, in advance of Andrew Van Ginkel and Blake Cashman signing with the Vikings, this person noticed, hey, those guys are connected to my company now. Recently, he noticed another new connection made with Asante Samuel Jr. His specific company rarely works with people who live outside of Minnesota. I can't think of any other reason for this company and Asante Samuel Jr. to be connected unless he were to be in Minnesota.
I think you did a fine job. Like I
wish I could read the
assumptions,
actual email,
No,
but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're doing the right thing.
No, I think you did a fine job. I can deduct what it's about without a problem. So
okay. I mean, you've already
anything.
seen like the
do-
unedited.
yeah, I know,
email,
but there's
so-
only X amount of things that a company would provide that you would want to be in town for and things like that. And
Yeah.
so, I mean,
when you saw the original email, the non-redacted version that I gave you, like the redacted version.
Yeah.
Here. You guys have seen the completely unredacted version. Did it make you feel more or less confident that this Asante Samuel Jr. thing is a real thing?
It's happening. Yeah.
to quote Phil Mackey, circa 2010 or
Yeah.
whatever it was,
It's happening.
11, 12, it's happening. I was more confident. I don't
It's
look.
funny looking at the guesses in the comment section for what
There are
the
some
company
funny
is.
ones here.
Yeah.
It's, oh man, Ben Brown is correct. It's Pizza Ranch. Yeah. Thought we couched that enough to prevent Pizza
Actually, you
Ranch
know
from being
what?
outed.
Van Ginkel as the Kirk replacement for Pizza Ranch would be outstanding. Jorts, the hair.
Some long hair.
I could see him
Slow
at an
motion.
outside the metro. Couldn't you see him at a Pizza Ranch in like
Maplewood.
Owatonna, Albert Lee? I totally could
Yes,
see that.
100%. 100%. So just another
It's happening.
another log on the fire here,
Well-
stoking the Asante Samuel Jr. flames.
I've said this from day one. So the original note, right? I don't think somebody would be creative enough to come up with a completely fake story about my daughter saw this guy at like a nightclub,
Yeah.
and then she went and asked. And I don't think your daughter's going to spoof you on that, like for dad. So I felt from day one that this sounds pretty credible.
Yeah. Really excited for this to happen here, but we'll see. We have to wait. We have to wait another 10 or 11 days to find out.
If they don't take a corner, which they very well might not, like if they don't take a corner first round, probably, I think we can take it to the bank, to quote Steven Seagal.
I'll take you to the bank.
The blood bank,
The
Senator.
blood bank. Don't.
Oh, this guy just said fire sports dad. Nicholas. Oh, this is bad news for me. Hey, Stella, you got to go get a job.
We can create a LinkedIn profile for you, Judd. It'll be fun. Update your resume.
old
Okay,
is
here's
Stella?
another one from Anonymous. Not quite as spicy on this one, but this is really good intel here too.
Okay.
From Anonymous. This isn't your usual tip, but it's a tip about a potential player's character. This tip comes from a well-plugged-in South Dakota football coach about Gray Zabel and is 100% reliable. With the NIL money he received from NDSU, Gray Zabel used that money to invest in land around his hometown of Pierre, South Dakota. Also, at least 2 big-time football programs came to him before his senior year at NDSU with essentially a blank check for him to do an NIL deal. Hey, let's get you out of North Dakota State here, guy. He said no out of loyalty to NDSU. So buying land, which is just a smart long-term investment, right? Maybe because a lot of guys just buy cars and jewelry and different things and waste their money. So he's making a responsible purchase with his NIL money. He's saying no to big-time programs. It tells you a lot about his character, Anonymous says. Gray is a salt-of-the-earth, hardworking guy from the Midwest who will give you his best. As you guys always say, he's one of us. By the way, Gray played first base in baseball. It was a heck of a baseball player, too. Well, you know what? All due respect to my guy, Ty France, the Twins might be in the market there, too.
Yeah, that'd be great. I have no question that Gray, but most importantly, he would fit in at left guard, snot and snarl, and absolutely destroy guys.
Apparently it's Pierre, South Dakota. Is that what people are saying? Pronouncing it wrong. Okay. Pierre, South Dakota.
Yeah, but it's spelled wrong, though.
If they wound up with Gray Zabel out of this thing, I'm in. Everything we've heard behind the scenes about this guy, not just from the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line, but
Yep.
sounds like the real deal and a guy that could potentially fill 2 or 3 different positions as needed the next 5 years.
Confirmation. That's what
Yep.
that is. Confirmation right there.
Let's go to our friend, executive coach Jason from Iowa, who chimes in here. He's been great emailing in over the years about sort of the psychology and the mental makeup of people and football players. But executive coach Jason from Iowa has a conundrum, and he needs our help, maybe specifically the sports dad's help here. So Jason and his 16-year-old son, Daxon, had plans to drive up for the Purple Daily Draft Party next Thursday.
Nice.
But Daxon has developed into one of the better discus throwers in the state of Iowa. So he's the third-ranked high school sophomore and the 19th-ranked discus thrower in the state of Iowa. And he will likely be competing in the Drake Relays. The problem is this track and field meet, the Drake Relays, is at 8:30 a.m. the Friday after the draft.
Okay.
So Jason writes, I'm always up for an adventure, and if I can make this work, I would come up for the draft party as originally planned, and I'd probably have to be on 35 South by 4 or 4:30 in the morning Friday to make it to Drake and watch my son throw discus. I'm probably a 75% yes on this right now.
Whoa.
I want to show up and personally shake your hands and eat crow because I sent multiple emails saying Darnold will be back on a team-friendly contract, and I was wrong. I'm all in on J.J. McCarthy. Let's go. Wave the flag, and so forth. So do you have any sports dad advice here for actual dad executive coach Jason from Iowa?
Yes. I actually do, and it's going to shock the world.
And you drive to Iowa quite a bit. I mean, you kind of know that.
Yeah, Dawn's from there. I'm going to shock the world by saying this. If this was just some high school meet, like some small meet, and it was, I'd be like, skip the meet. Who cares? But this is anything involved with the Drake relays is a big deal. So you know what? If there's any question like about ability to get back there to Des Moines, you got to go with the kid. Got to go with the kid here. Yeah, I know it's shocking.
I didn't expect this.
No, I know, but this is a big deal. This is a big deal for Daxon. So I'm actually going to surprise you by saying in this case I would put my son first.
Wow. Yeah, I kind of like the 4:30 a.m. thing here, dude. Like take a quick nap between like midnight and 2:30 in the morning.
Daxon's a good name too.
Daxon. Yeah,
I sort of like that.
Daxon. So, all right. Well, we'd love to see you, Jason, and if not, good luck to Daxon.
Yep.
Well, either way, like Daxon's going to be throwing discus
like
anyway.
Daxon's going to probably get a college scholarship.
Yeah.
NIL coming along.
That's right.
Good old dad can call it quits soon.
This would be great. Let's see here. Rick Heinrich says, "Top of the day to you, gentlemen. I have to say that you three guys are very entertaining. Thank you, Rick. I remember a long time ago, after the first season of Monday Night Football, they brought three guys together in the broadcast booth. Frank Gifford, Don Meredith, and Howard Cosell. Monday was the low point of the week for most people. It was the first day of the work week, but Monday Night Football changed all of that. You looked forward to Mondays and watching football. It was always entertaining to listen to those three guys, especially Meredith. Gifford called the plays, Meredith and Howard Cosell did commentary, and boy, was it indeed a colorful commentary. They were hilarious. Together, those three guys were the best. Thank you, gentlemen. You kind of remind me of that team of three guys on Monday Night Football.
Well, that's very cool. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Yeah, I think Danny, Don, and Cosell were drunk quite a bit.
Just like us, you know?
That's nice. That's nice. In fact, there was a game in the early 70s in Franklin Field in Philadelphia where Cosell was so drunk that he threw up on Meredith's shoes during the broadcast.
Like in the booth?
In the booth. And then they immediately transported him out, of course, took him home and said, Howard got a little sick during the broadcast.
So Howard Cosell, Harry Carey, who's on the Mount Rushmore of getting blasted in the broadcast booth. It doesn't happen as much anymore, I feel like.
No, I don't think it does. Harry was a good one. It's got to be more baseball guys, right? I feel like it's more baseball guys.
Long games, summertime.
Now, in the 70s, before Summerall worked with Madden, Pat Summerall and his buddy and analyst Tom Brookshire were famous for like just getting blasted on Saturday night and showing up just hung over to beat hell. In fact, I think they eventually split them up because of that.
Yeah. Wow.
Makes
And
sense.
Brookshire could, he could go.
Just guys being guys back in the 60s.
Oh, yeah, the 60s and 70s.
Speaking of, Gene Peterson says, I have a friend in his 60s that's been a lifelong Vikings fan. My question is, he recently bought a new Vikings jersey with his own last name on it. My opinion is he's a dork for that. I asked him if he played for the Vikings. His excuse is, well, I'll never stop being a Vikings fan. He doesn't like buying a player jersey and then they leave for a different team.
Right.
Could you guys weigh in on the subject of people with their last names on sports jerseys?
I am personally not a fan, but I get it, especially now. But in fact, when I was, the only Vikings jersey I got was in 3rd grade. So I got one, made, and I wanted the number 9 for, at that time, the quarterback Tommy Kramer. And my parents are like, well, yeah, and you can get Zolgan on back. And I'm like, I'm not getting Zolgan on back. I'm getting Kramer on back. I'm Tommy Kramer. I'm not Judd Zol. Who gives a crap? So personally, I'm not a fan. But because guys move teams so much, I think I have more forgiveness for it now than I did at that time.
I had a Culpepper one. That was my first jersey. And in fact, I have been back and forth on eBay as of like the last few weeks on pulling the trigger on like a Vikings Culpepper jersey just to have, because I love Dante. And it, fun little thing to wear on shows like this and stuff too.
Absolutely.
And then I also had, I think I had a Favre. I had a Sidney Rice, and there's one other.
Oh, you got suckered in by
yep.
the season.
The one
2009
Sidney Rice.
The season of Sidney.
My birthday was my birthday's in December, so I asked for a Sidney Rice jersey that 09 season, and I got one. And there was one other. Oh my God, the one that I probably wore the most in high school was Darren Sharper. That was the one I wore the most.
You know what?
Yeah,
Actually,
back away from that.
So that one, in a weird way, we've had for years and years. We've had the Mackey and Judd rules for adults wearing jerseys. Like if you're a kid, whatever, wear jerseys. But we've kind of said, and not to tell people how to live their lives, do whatever you want. But what we've kind of said, our principles are that the jersey should check one of two boxes. It should either be a player who's older than you. So. Like if you're going to wear a Tommy Kramer jersey, he's like an old Vikings legend and you're paying homage. Or it should be a funny or somehow ironic jersey in some way. The Darren Sharper jersey, still a little weird to be wearing that, but that would actually be closer to like the ironic jersey.
Yeah, I couldn't do that one.
My wife really, if Jared Goff ever signs with the Vikings, she will be ecstatic. She's talked about this for as long as we've been married and together, is that she wants a Jared Goff Vikings run so bad so she can get a Goff jersey.
I could see that happening in about 8 years.
Right.
When they need they go back to the 1 year stopgap or something. I don't know. So Corey Larson says, oh my gosh, you have to pick one. So it's a Wolves Vikings crossover question.
Okay.
So you have to pick one of these scenarios. Either the Wolves include Jaden McDaniels and other key assets in a trade for Kevin Durant, or the Vikings sign Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, the first. I'll trade McDaniel. I'll trade McDaniels and that for Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's no problem for me.
Agreed. I have no interest. And after his McAfee appearance yesterday, his woe is me. My life, I'm treated so unfairly. Yes, I don't want to do one, but I would. It wouldn't even be a decision.
Boy, I love me some Jaden McDaniels. I've really, that interview yesterday, I've been arguing with people on Twitter about this. Like these people who are, you tell the Jets. Yeah. First of all, you don't always have to set the record straight with every single perceived slight in your life. He is one of the most insecure narcissists that's ever walked the face of the earth as a high-profile quarterback. He's always the victim. It's always like, what's hilarious is his biggest complaint yesterday, and he always has to manipulate the narrative. Mm-hmm. It couldn't possibly be that he was pitching something to the Vikings, because that's where people get it wrong. I mean, they think that I'm pitching myself to another person. I am above that, right? No, me and Kevin O'Connell go way back. It's like, no, dude, you were pitching yourself to the Vikings. And that's fine. Like, you're in a little bit of a vulnerable spot because you're 41 years old. It can't possibly, though, be that he doesn't have the upper hand in an interaction, right? But this whole thing about, like, the Jets flew, on my own dime, I flew out to New Jersey, and then within 15 seconds, the weird new coach told me that they're going to move on from me. There's a tweet that people dug up from 12 years ago where he literally says, meeting in person greater than meeting over the phone.
Yeah.
If they do it the other way around, he still goes on McAfee and he rips the Jets for doing it over the phone, because he always has to have the upper hand and make it seem like everyone else is an idiot and that everyone else is slighting him in some way. You wonder why him and his family don't communicate, because he's insufferable.
And then he flew.
End rant.
Well, but then he flew from California to Pittsburgh to go meet with the Steelers, to which I'm assuming the Steelers are like, oh, cool, he's coming to sign here. So he flew across country. He didn't sign, and that's just sort of like, no one talks about that. Like, yeah, and his Vikings thing, to me, I have faith, I hope, knock on wood, that the Vikings and O'Connell in particular are smart enough that they knew there was no reason to alienate him, but they have no interest. Because I'm telling you right now, I am more sure than ever. You talk about Asante Samuel Jr., I am more emboldened than ever that he is going to wait this out and hope McCarthy gets hurt or stinks.
Yeah. I mean, there's still very much a greater than 0% chance he is the Vikings quarterback.
I just hope the Vikings have no interest in a guy who, the second things go wrong now, just goes on McAfee and basically tells a story that he wants you to believe.
He spends his entire existence literally trying to massage every point of communication and every public perception so that he is right and everyone else is wrong.
Yep.
And he never admits he's wrong. Have you ever heard him come out and say, yeah, you know what? It's classic narcissist behavior. So I don't know, man. That was just another
And he's got the
reminder.
He's got the megaphone on McAfee, and McAfee doesn't push back on him.
Correct, because they get a ton of viewers and they make a lot of money off those segments. So let's see, Nate. So we'll get to a couple more here than the snake draft. Nate said, I recently lost my puppers, sadly.
Oh.
That guy would watch all the sad Minnesota sports with me. It was truly my emotional support animal, dealing with the ups and downs of our teams and life. We would also listen to your shows nearly every day since I discovered you when I was a student at Arizona State in 2013 during the 1500 ESPN 4-hour radio days. Always enjoyed when you guys, when we watched on YouTube and other dogs would make an appearance. Being that you're all dog owners and I'm sure other animal lovers, just wanted to say thank you for all the background conversations while we were spending time together. I know none of us met, but he did enjoy listening to the shows. So everyone hug your pets just a little extra today and enjoy the weekend we have ahead of us, even if the Twins are trying to not let that happen. Nate, oh my gosh. Yeah.
I can't talk about pet dying.
Yeah.
I can't talk about pets dying. People, not, okay.
I agree, man.
But pets,
Yeah.
I can't take it.
Yeah.
I'll start to tear up.
Dude, I feel we've talked about this before. If I ranked all of the animals and people close to me that have died in my life, the saddest I've been is like my mom died way too young, so that's number one. It crushed me. My dad was 80 and had like horrible failing health for years, and we were all just kind of like, including him. All right, thankfully that's over.
Right.
It was sad.
Right. It's a blessing. Yep.
But I think there's like 5 or 6 pets. It's like mom dying too young, and then it's like 5 or 6 pets next on the list.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing too with pet, like if you had, your parents are important, and yes, I get you because your mom was young, but the thing too is like, my parents were great, but like, they get old.
Too
I don't
old.
live with them.
Too old.
I don't live with them. Like Stella, she's old now. I fear she's going to, because like she'll be taken out of my life actively. Like that's
Oh,
the
my
thing.
Yeah.
So I can't do it. But anyway, I'm sorry, Nate. Right, Nate, I'm sorry.
Wow, that was amazing.
Well, because I remembered, because it's a pet. Because it's a pet.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
emotionally
why.
moved. I'm touched.
I know. This guy's snoozing on his bed next to me
fair.
here. And yeah, I know, same thing. My wife, like every night, it was just like, you'll never die. Like you'll live forever. And I'm like, yep, he's gonna live forever. He
Totally,
is immortal.
yep.
He is immortal and invincible. He is going to outlive all of us, actually.
And then just quickly here too, the really tough thing is a lot of times you have to make the decision for them once they start to suffer and get old, and that's what just is so tough.
It is. Yeah, it's because selfishly you're like, no, I like we can fix this. We'll figure it out.
Our dog was like this, and Don's like,
but they're
no.
just it's so bad.
Anyway, all right, let's move on.
So okay, all right. So hopefully our pets live forever. Okay, last one here. Steve says, first name only, please. Although I will say Steve's last name is like very, very much a wide-ranging last name. So Steve, I could have said your full name, and there's a bajillion Steve.
It's like a
blanks out there.
Yep.
Anyways, he says, I want to mock is to Purple Daily as Diamonds Are Forever is to De Beers, or as Finger Licking Good is to KFC. Breakfast of Champions is to Wheaties. Don't ever change. I want to mock. However, Frank North, the emailer from last week, is right about the snake draft. It's stupid. Most of the time, the snake draft isn't even football related. I'd like to think you guys are better than these snake drafts.
That's why you chose today's topic, then.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing the snake draft, but this one will be football related, boys.
I want to mock.
Okay.
Well, some people like stuff, some people don't. I think that's fine.
It is kind of funny how
no problem with that.
we do get like 5 to 10% of notes that are like, if you're not breaking down football or the Vikings specifically every single second of the show. If we were to lead the show with snake draft, I could see like, but this is your chance. If you hate the snake draft,
You can just turn it off.
you could just come back tomorrow, whatever. You know.
Plenty of Vikings talk to come.
So we'll do a football related snake draft here in just a moment after we shout out MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Judd.
Yep, you know what? We talked about the amount of people Sports Dad allows in his house, and that is basically, folks, 0. Well, no, it's 1, it's 2. Guess what? It's anyone from MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air who come to fix something in my house, furnace, et cetera, et cetera. We could go on. They do a fantastic job, and right now, I want to tell you about opportunity when it comes to these fine folks. You can join MSP's Total Comfort Club. For $8 a month, you get an AC tune-up, a furnace tune-up, and a plumbing check, all included. Get ahead of the problems before they start. Members also get priority service, so there is no having to wait for days for a tech to show up. You call, they are there. And if you need repairs, members get 10% off service as well. MSP does such a good job for service. Give them a call, 615-615-4292, or check out their website, callmsp.com. Callmsp.com. Going to tell you right now, firsthand experience, they do fantastic work.
Also, Minnesota Rusco has been Minnesota's hometown remodeler since 1955.
It's a great jingle.
They can help turn your remodel into a reality. They have 70 years of experience with interior and exterior home improvement and remodeling. Windows, doors, siding, bathrooms, kitchens, decks, roofing, you name it. And all throughout the month of April, it's their biggest sale of the year at Minnesota Rusco, the Free Days Sale. For a limited time, get totally free labor on all of the things I just mentioned, interior, exterior, and you'll receive payment-free and interest-free financing and a free gift as well. So they are offering you their best deal of the year. You can check out the customer reviews, too, at minnesotarusco.com and see what other people are saying about their new kitchens, their new bathrooms, their new decks, whatever it may be. MinnesotaRusco.com, serving Minnesotans since 1955. They'll be serving Minnesotans beer at the Craft Beer Festival next weekend, Dex.
Yes, they will. Craft Beer
Not
Festival.
Minnesota Rusco, but like other people will.
Right, yeah, no, I got you. Mm-hmm. MinnesotaCraftBeerFestival.com, April 26th from 1 to 5 o'clock. Over 80 craft beers there if you're a beer lover. You know, personally, a nice Pilsner or lager is what old Dex tweets would be like to be sampling around here. MinnesotaCraftBeerFestival.com. Again, at the end of April, go to MinnesotaCraftBeerFestival.com to secure those tickets.
Okay, boys, it's time for the snake draft of the week here. And the topic for this week is fictional football people. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to our draft and any questions you guys have. But do you have the results from last week and the updated historical standings here?
A historical snake draft last week for two reasons. Number one, Yes, last week's vote total of 1,099 was the highest draft vote total in the history of our snake drafts. It surpassed Bar Foods, the infamous Bar Foods draft, with 1,078. So it was the highest amount of votes we've ever received on a snake draft. Also, Mackey's win was the fourth lowest winning vote percentage at 36. I think it was actually 30. Let's see here, 37.8% over me at 33.8.
Wow.
So that was the fourth smallest margin of victory. So it was a very tightly contested snake draft in our most overrated bands. All time here, Judd has 14 wins. Oh, Phil and Judd now officially tied.
Let's go.
With 14 wins. I'm 9 for 35. Last place finishes. Judd has 15.5 last place finishes. Phil has 11.5 last place finishes. I have 12 last place finishes. You guys tied once for the lowest vote. That's why you have a half. But yeah, 30. This will be the 43rd snake draft because Judd's been involved in every single one. So
Wow.
43rd
Okay.
snake draft.
Iron Man.
Let's get it.
Iron Man, I'm bringing it.
He is the snake draft Iron Man. So the draft order this week is going to be, I get the number 1 overall pick, Judd number 2, Dex 3. It's a 3-round snake draft. So Dex will get the wraparound drafting first in the second round. Any questions about the parameters of fictional football people?
So football people, not just players, people.
Yeah.
People.
Yep, I got you. Okay. I just want to make
okay.
sure. I don't want to make sure.
Okay.
Then no questions. Or needs no more questions.
The number 1 pick's kind of tough.
This
I
is
feel
a
like.
bad draft to have the top pick.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have this one, to be honest.
Well, Declan has the ideal.
So I'm just going to...
I'd say the Doors.
People
Morrison.
people ripped you for the Doors thing. But
Oh, they love the Doors, yeah. I knew that would... I knew what I was doing and I didn't care. That's how emboldened I am.
I'm going to go with one of the most fearsome, ferocious defensive players in the history of fictional football with the number 1 pick. Give me Bobby Boucher.
Dang it.
From Waterboy.
I knew he was going to go number 1. I knew he was going to go number 1. Samuel.
Bobby Boucher. That's right.
Damn it.
Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he could destroy a quarterback. And that was before they really made more quarterback-friendly rules in football movies too. You could play till the
Fonz.
echo of the whistle.
I'm
Fonz,
about to say
right?
the Fonz is
Henry
worth. I mean,
Winkler was in that. He's great.
he's worth taking potentially. He's a great character in that movie.
Oh boy. Okay, so I don't love this. I don't love this pick. I don't love having this pick because it's a little bit difficult because I do have a big board that's just chock full of unbelievable choices. Oh, jeez. I think I know the movie I'm going after. Just don't know who I want.
Oh man.
Oh, interesting.
Judd's already just completely off his game here.
No. There's too many good choices. I wish I had the Declan back to back, but I don't. I digress.
Are you going positional value? Like,
No.
I was thinking I should probably take a quarterback number 1.
No.
Since it's a football draft. But
No, I'm going to hire a guy to run my draft. I'm going to hire a guy to run my draft. And his name is the one, the only, Sonny Weaver Jr.
These are my top 2 picks.
Sonny, I want my picks back from the snake draft.
Yeah, man.
I'm not
one of the. I can't tell if he's one of the greatest or worst general managers in history because it kind of felt like he got fleeced and then did his research after. You know.
Yep.
It's like, bro, you should be
would
prepping
say
a little
this.
more than that.
I would say this. Just a cautionary thing around the draft. Don't be sleeping with your executive assistant.
Well, but they're like.
I think that probably happens a lot though in the football
like
world.
they're like openly together though, right? And like.
Well, no, I know,
aren't they
but
married?
But then they ran. No, but then
They're not married. They're
no.
definitely not
But
married.
then they run in. But then there's a blip in the relationship, and now he's focused on her. We don't have time for that.
It's true.
You're running a draft.
So okay, Dex is back here. He's on the clock with 2 consecutive picks.
All right. I'll take another Adam Sandler. Give me Paul Crewe. I want the new longest yard though, not the old longest yard.
Okay.
So Paul Crewe from longest yard. Give me Adam Sandler. Two appearances in the first round here.
Wow. So you're not taking
So
Bert.
when was the Bert was the original?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
73, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mid 70s.
yeah, with that mustache.
Oh, Bert. Yeah, Bert was a killer, man. Playgirl. Once
Man.
was the centerfold in Playgirl.
Okay. So I think I'm just going to take an obvious one here and load up. And then my last pick, I think I could do it. But give me Shane Falco.
Yep,
Okay.
That's a good one.
Give me Shane Falco.
Good one.
Shane Falco. It's a great name, by the way.
Oh, it's an
Shane
awesome name.
Falco.
Yep.
Yeah, good quarterback name. That's Shane Falco.
Two quarterbacks here. I got two quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's the replacements, man. 2,000.
Keanu, right?
Keanu Reeves, yep.
Yep.
Okay, that puts Judd back on the clock here with his second round pick.
Actually, I just got a wild thought. I've got a question here. This is not my pick.
Okay.
But if I were to, and I guess I'm going to toss this out, but it's worth it. If I were to pick Johnny Utah, would that count?
Yes,
Because he was a quarterback.
It's not a
Ohio
football.
State.
It's not a football movie.
Right. Right.
Yeah, right. Because this is from whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Point Break.
Point Break.
But
you
is
could,
that
you could take Johnny Utah? Because it's fictional football people.
Yeah, and he's
So
a
it
football
doesn't have to
person
be
who
from a
played.
sports movie. His
Yeah.
backstory is that of a football player. Yeah.
He's an FBI agent now. I mean, this is tough because this could. I don't care. You know what? Vote for me. Don't. I
Wow,
don't
he
care. I don't care. I'm taking Johnny Utah. I'm an
Johnny-
FBI. Two Utah. Two
Johnny Utah. Love this.
Utah. Get me
Staying
two.
true to yourself. So, wow.
And there's a lot left.
I had 7 main figures on my big board here. 5 of them are still alive, like on my main big board.
Yep. I feel good about my draft right now because I think I'm going to get one on. I want on the way back too.
You know what? Oh man, I got the back-to-back picks here. Who's Judd? I don't think Dex is going to take this guy, but Judd might.
That squirrely Judd.
Well, let's go. I'll go Steamin' Willie Beeman with one of them here, from any given Sunday.
Yep.
Steamin' Willie Beeman.
Yep. There's one I half expect you to take based on your age group.
Really?
Yes, from a movie that would have been, I think, out when you were very probably impressionable age.
I would say there's 3 options from that range.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take one of the greatest college football running backs in the history of fictional football. Give me Forrest Gump with my 3rd round pick.
Oh wow. Okay.
Forrest Gump.
That's not what I saw coming.
I thought about this.
Again, not the sharpest knife, just like Bobby
He's a running
Boucher.
back. He couldn't block.
running back.
Stop, Forrest.
He couldn't. He could never pick up the blitz. That's what I heard.
But yeah, he came off the field on 3rd down.
He wasn't smart enough to pick up the blitz. Janny.
Okay, Judd's back on the clock. His final pick here.
Oh gosh. I've got
Bob Wiley says, "What are we doing?"
I got Bobby, Robert. Come on, this is fun. Boy, do I want to take another draft day or do I want to mix it up a little bit? Screw it. Bo Callahan.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm
Bo
taking
Callahan.
Bo Callahan. Just, I mean, nobody went to his party. It was a
Yeah,
very
he's kind of
upsetting thing.
he's like the Josh Rosen of fictional quarterbacks, right?
Exactly. Bo Callahan.
So Bo Callahan, the second person from
You know what?
draft day here.
Draft day had a lot of things that were not plausible. But perhaps the biggest one was the fact that a Wisconsin quarterback would ever be the top pick.
Right. Well, Russell Wilson he's a 3rd round pick, I guess.
3rd round pick.
And he was only there for a minute. He was more of a North Carolina State guy. All right, and then that leaves Declan here with the final pick.
All right, I'm gonna take this guy. This could either win or sink me. And I saw a couple people recommend it, and I had it on my big board. Give me Uncle Rico.
Oh man,
Give me Uncle
love
Rico.
this.
Give me
Nice.
Uncle Rico, because back in
that's a good-
'82, if he would have gotten in 4th quarter, they would have taken State.
Yep.
And he also could sling a steak. Do you know that was like a real take that he like slung that thing right at him? And also, when he's been in was in White Lotus these last 2 seasons, which is hilarious. So give me Uncle Rico to round out the fictional sports.
This is a great pick
What
here.
a great
individuals.
movie.
Awesome
Yeah.
pick. Awesome movie. Okay, so here are the rosters. Dex winds up with Paul Crew from Longest Yard, Shane Falco from the Replacements, and Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Judd winds up with Sonny Weaver Jr. from Draft Day, Johnny Utah from Point Break, and Bo Callahan from Draft Day.
A lot of quarterbacks in my room.
Were you thinking about maybe just like going Vontae Mack no matter what too, and doing all three from Draft Day?
I thought about Vontae as well.
And then I go Bobby Boucher from Waterboy, Steamin' Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday, and Forrest Gump from Forrest Gump.
Yep. Phil, I thought that you might go for your last pick,
Jerry Maguire,
Varsity Blues.
Oh, okay.
Blues. Yeah.
Rod Tidwell and Jerry Maguire.
I had Rod Tidwell on my list. I did not have Maguire.
I was not. It was a big thing for people my age and my generation. I never got into Friday Night Lights, the movie or the TV show.
Really?
I never cared for it. I tried, and the movie's fine. I don't mind the movie, but the TV show was like also right out when I was like in high school and stuff, and I never cared for it at all.
Some people saying Robbie B says Coach Boone. That's based on a true story.
It's a real guy. Yeah.
So he's a real guy. Would have been ineligible.
Yeah.
Some other ones here. Hayden from Coach Hayden Fox from Minnesota State.
Oh yeah, that's old school.
Coach,
now.
I'm shocked you didn't take that, Judd. I thought.
I was never a big fan of that show.
Oh, that'd be right up your alley.
Not a big fan of that show. Yeah, age-wise it was, but I just didn't like the show that much. I'm not a huge Craig T. Nelson guy.
Really?
Wow. Poltergeist?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Hot
I'm just not a
take.
huge. Yeah, I'm just not a huge. Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh,
just
he's
not
like
big.
the perfect dad. Like, I love Craig T. Nelson, man. Like,
Except in Poltergeist, where he couldn't protect his family from the house
That
being
one maybe.
swallowed up.
okay. He's like
Yeah,
the
they wound up at
perfect-
some seedy, like side of the road motel,
Yep.
and it
Yep.
was super weird.
I feel like if you went to his IMDb page and in the last 25 years, I would bet 90% of his credits are dad. Like, he is the dad of
You know
the
what?
family.
You know what I didn't like in the last probably 20 years or so? He became the dad in all these, sappy or sad movies, and he was like either a jackass or he couldn't control his family. I got tired of that. I told you I'm not a fan of that Christmas the Christmas
Stone.
film. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Family
Love Family
Stone.
Stone.
Yeah, he's.
Parenthood? Phil, did you watch Parenthood?
I did not get into Parenthood.
Oh, really? That
no.
seemed like a show
I
you
did
didn't
watch
watch
Coach
Parenthood.
back in the day. Yeah, it's
Coach is fine. It was fine, but I didn't think it was great. The best part is it's based on the fictional Minnesota State, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, it's like, oh yeah, it's fictional because who would call
Now
themselves
there
Minnesota
actually is
State?
a Minnesota State. It's
And then
great.
Mankato State, which was a fine name for the school, it's like, oh yeah, we're Minnesota State, and then someone else says we're Minnesota.
It's great. All right, so voting is going to be on the Score North Twitter /X account momentarily here, and you can vote for your favorite fictional football roster here. All right, tomorrow, a Saturday checkdown episode. Don't forget, limited tickets, scorenorth.com/draft for the draft party next Thursday. And we'll have bonus Thursday on a Monday and some other fun stuff leading up to the draft next week. For Judd, for Dex, I'm Phil. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. See ya.